So I'm here with Michael Sherrod, who has co-authored the book Bad Baby Names. Mike, I was taking a look at the book and I saw some names that are simply unbelievable. Emma Royd, Fanny Whiffer, and Hugh Jass. These names simply can't be real, can they?
Oh, but they are. We got all of these names out of the United States Census from Ancestry.com's databases. And Ancestry.com has over 5 billion names on file. And the census is hundreds and hundreds of millions of names. And we took these names from the census from 1790 to 1930. So these are all names that were alive and well in the United States, but in that period of time.
From 1700s to 1930, gosh, that's a lot of names. How did you decide which ones to include in the book?
Well, that was pretty hard actually, because any topic and almost any weird name you could come up with, you could find. So we sort of had to figure out a way that we could do it systematically. So we started with a list of things. We would say, well, let's check sandwiches. Are there people named after sandwiches or the things that go in sandwiches? And we found quite a bit. And then we looked at one like the 7 deadly sins. And we discovered something rather unusual. Let me just make sure I get the numbers right. We found 149 records for people named Lust, 70 for greed, 42 for avarice, 12 for sloth, 24 for wrath, 17 for envy, and 830 for pride. But unfortunately, no gluttony.
So with those names being on the record, it seems that it's not just celebrity bad names getting a lot of attention. Recently, names have cropped up such as Apple, Phineas, and Your Majesty. Are there any celebrity names in the book that are some of your favorites?
Actually, one of the names that we all liked and did not think we would find anywhere in the census was Dweezil from Dweezil Zappa. Actually, when we went and looked, we found 25 Dweezils from the 1790s up through 1930, spelled exactly the same way, and we were completely shocked. So, celebrities, sometimes there's nothing new under the sun.
So, while Bad Baby Names is hilarious, Dweezil seems to prove that there's also some historical relevance.
Well, actually there is. One of the patterns, as we looked through the names, we found some patterns to how people name their children. Biblical, of course, runs through all decades. But after wars, people tended to name their children after war heroes and generals. In periods of peace, after movie stars, sometimes church leaders, depending on their religion. But you can see very clearly as you go through the decades what names ebb and flow. And there are places on the web you can go and actually see what names were the most popular in every year and every decade.
According to the SSA, today's most popular names for boys are Jacob, Michael, Joshua, Ethan, and Matthew. And for girls, Emma, Emily, Madison, Isabella, and Ava. Did you notice similar trends with the bad baby names?
Well, that's a great question. No, actually, we didn't see any trends with bad baby names. Bad baby names were sprinkled throughout almost every census. 1930, however, had more than almost any other census. And there are some reasons for that. One is that it was the first census where every name in the household was included, not just the head of household. So there were far more names in it to find these odd names. Now, why people did that, we don't really know.
It seems that there are a lot of books on bad baby names out there, even websites. So this must be a pretty big business for you.
Well, this is our first book on bad baby names, but we know that there have been about 80 books printed in just the last few years on baby names, versus 50 in the decade before that. And the reason, I think, is because people are really searching for ways in which to give their children a unique identity. And in fact, naming consultants have come on the scene to help people name their children in ways that are not traditional.
You know, with all of the election coverage, I was going through the book and I didn't see the name Obama. Did he just not make the cut?
Well, Obama we didn't think was a bad baby name, or Barack for that matter. Although there is an Obama, H.E. Obama, or Obama, he Obama, that does appear in some records we have, although not the census. There's myths, lots and lots of myths throughout history in the census from 1790 to 1930. So obviously all kinds of names are going to show up, but not going to be judged bad baby names.
So Michael, if anyone out there has funny baby names or names that they've heard of, what should they do to get that information to you?
Well, what's interesting is every time we talk to someone about bad baby names, every single person has a list of names that they want to contribute. So we'd love it if people would come to our website at www.sticksandstones.com and put their names in, and we have a blog that we'll put those into the best of the best. We'll put into the blog and share with everybody.
And finally, just because I've heard it so many times, Lamangelo and Orangelo, true or false?
That's actually true.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And if you look in the book, you'll find that there are names there you absolutely will not believe.
All right. Well, I owe somebody lunch. Michael, thank you for your time, and we hope to see you again soon.
That was a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.